Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome back to an episode of our Let's Play for Football Manager 2020. We have officially finished our fifth season overall, and our second season in the Skybet League 2. Not the greatest finish, to be fair. We finished a little bit lower this season than we did last season, but gives us something to build off of, I guess. Maybe we can hopefully make some improvements during the off season, which is what we're doing today. We're going to be going through the awards here in just a minute, as well as some of the transfer stuff between seasons, and will get us ready for our sixth season overall, our third season in League 2. So let's get into the awards. All right, so here's some of the awards for the season. Looks like Dolan was named into our best overall 11 squad, which now consists of Yates in the back, Mundle-Smith, Leak, Baxter, Lupano across the back four, Lynch and Couvlier. Oh, Miss Couvlier, he was a good guy, wasn't he? And Lynch, honestly, both those. That was a pretty good pair. Bancroft still on the left side here. Hudson on the right, and they did some good stuff for us at times. I mean, there was a few times they didn't, but a lot of times they did. And Pennicut and Hurst still our best two strikers. Just haven't had anybody since those two guys, but I think we're at a level above them right now, to be fair. But they definitely carried us quite a bit there, didn't they? So, and then we have substitutes. I guess that's where Dolan's coming in here. Yeah, Dolan's coming in here as a substitute. So our substitutes are Joe Green, Kerbouche, Dolan, Cohen's, Campton Sturridge. Oh, miss Campton Sturridge as well. O'Connell. I mean, he's still on the team, of course, but he just hasn't really been playing well, has he? But and there's O'Connell as well. You know, not the worst, but really not a lot of new. Like I said, Dolan's the only player that we're adding into the best 11. That really shows how maybe mediocre our season went. End of season awards. Walcott actually picking up the Player of the Season award. Okay. What was his overall? I mean, 7.01 average rating. 22 years old. We still got some space with him. Not a bad player. Not a bad player at all. Joe Byrne and Dolan picking up second and third. Matthew Smith picked up goal of the season. Let's check this goal of the season. That was when we were playing a 4-3-3, actually. Played that for a very brief period of time. I actually wanted that to work better than it did, because I actually kind of like it for some random weird reason. Dolan over there to Smith. Smith, just nice shot. Really good shot from Smith there. Definitely, I mean, there's been a lot of, there's been a couple decent goals. That was actually a really good game for us. 4-0 game. Wish we had played more games like that. Signing of the season, Malachi Walcott. He was a free transfer in, as well as young player of the season, Malachi Walcott. Overall stats. Top goal scorer was Pike. He had 12 goals overall. Only 8 in the league, though. That's just not good enough. Really not good enough at all. Can we see? No, we can't see anything. I was going to say if we could see the number of goals across the team. We can probably look at that somewhere else. Highest average rating, Walcott, 7.03. That tells a lot as well. If your highest is barely a 7, then that tells you something. Most assists is Joe Byrne at 8 assists. Okay. Best pass completion is Tyrese Dolan, 87%. It's not terrible. Most player of the match awards, Walcott got 5 player of the match. Good for him. Most yellow cards, Kanina and Walcott actually picking up both 10 apiece. Well, Walcott did good, but he was also very aggressive. And then Matthew Smith picking up a pair of red cards. And I feel like I remember at least one of those because I feel like it was pretty impactful at the time. Average attendance, 1941, 36% full, 30 total players used. It's 8th highest in the league. There's a league position as the league went on. Had some good stuff at the beginning. Dipped down really, really low. Got back up in there again. Honestly, this not bad. And then just finished off pretty poorly at the end. Anything else to look at on the screen? I don't think so. Glove vision and expectations meeting. Then wants to play high tempo pressing football. Trying to play some pressing football, but I mean, we've been doing it, but I don't know what to say. Defensively solid football. It's only favored, so he definitely would prefer professing over the defensively solid football, I should say. Make the most of set pieces, and then do not sign players over the age of 30. All right, I can do that. Work within the wage budget. We've been doing that. Sign players to sell for a profit. We've tried to do that a couple times, and they really just want us to stay in the top half of the Skybet League 2 over the next basically 5 years. Honestly, I don't think there's any negotiation that needs to happen here. This is pretty acceptable for us. Pretty tame expectations overall. Squad dynamics update. A little bit lower dressing room atmosphere, but overall managerial support is really high. Team leaders are Joe Lynch, Hudson, and Yates, none of which start for us at the moment. So that's, you know, a little worrisome because we got to fix that. Let's go check out our team meeting here. These are always scary, you know. It's time for you to go out and have a well-deserved break. I want every single one of you to be fully rested with a positive frame of mind when you get back, because we're going to get automatic. Yeah, we're not getting automatic promotion. Same level of ambition, mid-table finish. I'd like to go for top half. I have a feeling they're not going to like this. Oh, they do like that. All right. I am passionately in favor of that response, guys. They want a top half. I want a top half. I would like playoffs, but top half is definitely going to be the goal. What is officially top half? Top half is, there's 24, so top half would be 12th or higher. So we were top half last season, barely, but we definitely dropped out of the top half again this season. So I think getting back in the top half, honestly, I think 10th or above, I would be pretty happy with 10th or above. I want playoffs. 10th or above, though, would feel pretty good. And obviously, I think I'd like to get over the 60-point mark for sure, close to the 70-point mark that we would need to get into the playoffs, or 76 at this league. But, you know, if we got above 70 and still miss playoffs, I think I feel like we would accomplish something there. That's all of that. I'll go ahead and put a quick pause in there, and we'll come back if anything else exciting starts happening. I mean, nothing too exciting, but it does look like we have applied to raise our youth rating to category 4. I don't personally exactly know what those categories mean, but I'm assuming raise their youth rating is the important part of that sentence. So it does look like it's going to cost us a little bit more per year, but presumably we have a better youth rating now. Can we see that in club info maybe? Under, what is it, facilities? Youth level 4. What were we, does it go from 5 to 4, or does it go from 3 to 4? I actually don't know. You guys will have to tell me in the comments below if you're familiar with the English Football League stuff. I don't know what that actually means, if I must be honest. If we were to compare stuff, can I go see what am I looking for? Competitions. If I would go grab Crew, for example, they got promoted up. Can I see facilities? So they're at youth level 3. So presumably we were at 5, now we're at 4, and 3 is even better. I'm going to assume that's what that means. So, cool. All right. Quick little pause. We'll be back for some more excitement. Well, we've done a little bit of business, although it's kind of the opposite direction. We've actually sold 3 players instead of getting anybody really new in. I did get a couple loan guys in, so give me some credit. But yeah, let's take a look at what we've done. As far as coming in, we have Jasper coming in here. We paid 30.5K for him. He comes in as current 3-star, 4-star potential. Not the greatest, you know, rating in the Skybet Championship, but a better rating in the Skybet League 2. 6.8. It's not terrible. You know, it feels like he could have some potential for us. And he comes in as our second best attacking midfielder on the right-hand side, our second best attacking midfielder on the left-hand side, right behind Mr. Joe Nightingale, who is actually going to be the next person we look at. Joe Nightingale here comes in on a loan from Barnsley. Pretty decent player, I feel like, overall. His overall history, 7.0 rating, although only 2 appearances. So what does that tell us? I don't know. It was in the Skybet Championship, so we're 2 leagues below that. So I'm hoping this guy comes in and does some stuff for us. We're also bringing in Sandman here as an extra central defender. He can technically play on the wings, but it's unlikely that we will play him in that position. Current 4-star, 5-star potential. Overall career stats. Also not gotten a lot of time to play. Played for Fulham in the Skybet Championship. Not the greatest average rating at the moment, but again, we are 2 steps below that, so I'm hoping he comes in here and does okay for us. He does come in as, I think, our best. Yeah, our best central defender. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. He's got an impressive jumping reach, so there's that. And you may have already noticed some of the outgoing players. We do have we'll get to this one in a minute. We'll have Will Swan going out, $35,000 selfie. We brought him in for free. and we sold him for $35,000. I think that's very much the definition of selling for a profit. Jordan Maguire-Drew, selling him on for something as potential as high as a 45K. Again, brought him in for free, selling him on for a profit. And then the big boy, the big one, Matthew Smith here. He did really well for us, I feel like. 6.92, one of our best ratings, one of the closest ones we had to 7. One of the few that was above, that high. But we brought him in for a free, again, another free, and he had a minimum release clause for $550,000. So I kind of just set it for that, to see what would happen, and they agreed. So yeah, Matthew Smith moving on for $550,000. I think that becomes our biggest, right? Because the only other one we had, this one was Wellens for 150K, and that was our other biggest one. Yeah, so that's it. $550,000 is our new big. Oh no, there's O'Connell. That's right. O'Connell was 200K. So that's a lot of money. It's hard to pass up and say no to that much money. So that's kind of where we're at. So like I said, we brought in 3 players, lost 3 players, made some money in the process, and we'll see if we're better off for it. I was really liking the way Swan was doing some stuff. Maguire-Drew didn't really feel like he did that much. Matthew Smith, obviously, we did like, but it's hard to pass up that kind of money. So we are just about a week away from preseason starting, I believe. A few days away. So we'll come back once we get into preseason, get some trials in and things like that, and see if we can get a few more players in here. I am probably going to let go of a couple of our loans. Kanina and Baisley Graham, I think, are going to go out on away. We're not going to bring them back on loan. I still think they did that well. I was going to release Lopano as well, not renew his, but I just kind of felt like we needed somebody, because otherwise we'd be losing all of our wing players, defensive wingers, and so I felt like we needed to get rid of him, or I felt like we needed to keep somebody, and he was the best of those 3. At least he performed the best of those 3. So we're going to try and renew him for now. I also was trying to renew Dolan. Actually, I was trying to sign Dolan, and his team agreed to sell him to us, but he just didn't want to sign with us initially. But then a little bit later, he did want to sign with us, but we just couldn't come to terms on the price. He was wanting a price. He was only wanting £1,000 per week, but for whatever reason, our board would not let us go that high, and so we had to unfortunately pass up on him for right now. It is what it is. We had another offer out for a couple other players. A really good striker, and I think it was a really good winger or something like that. And neither one of them wanted to talk to us, even though their teams agreed to talk to us. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, a few more things, maybe we can get some stuff to work. But that's it for now. We'll be back shortly. All right, we are back, and we're about a week out from the start of the season itself. I don't think there's going to be any more activity, so I'm going to go ahead and just wrap up what we've done since then. The last one you guys saw was the Sandman loan here, as well as the Jordan Maguire-Drew sell on over here on the right-hand side. Let's go ahead and go through the left-hand side. We got Peter Kelly here from Limerick FC for £66,000. I'll be honest, I think I looked at it wrong and thought this was like, I don't know. I don't remember buying this guy for $66,000. I thought I spent maybe $20K on him. I must have missed a clause there that I just didn't pay attention to. I honestly have no explanation. We'll look at him anyway. He's got some potential. I mean, 4-star, but he's only currently 2.5 star. 18 years old, so I mean, he's got some growth ahead of him. He's valued at 29K. It's impossible that we could eventually get him valued up to the 66K mark and sell him on for a break-even price. It's not impossible, but definitely more than I would have wanted to spend for a 3rd-string central midfielder. Although he is capable of playing defender potentially. He's capable of playing defender on the right-hand side, even all the way up to striker. I mean, he can play a lot of different positions. So he might turn into something yet, but again, I think I messed up and did not mean to spend that much on him. We then got Tyrese Dolan back in. He's actually in his hours now for sure. He originally did not want to join us until he got paid a lot more, and then I guess he didn't get any other offers, and so we were able to bring him back in for even less than what we originally offered him in the first place, which is kind of funny. I think we offered him like 11 or 1200, and he didn't like it, and then we got him in for 975. Go figure. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But yeah, obviously we know Tyrese. He played very well for us last season, so he's in here to be the attacking midfielder or even a midfielder himself. We'll see what he can do. Hopefully, he does as well for us on officially ours as he does on loan. I'll then quickly jump over here to the right hand side. I had these two deals kind of going in tandem, and so that's why I went ahead and sold Pike on. It's only for about a 57K potential, but I felt like that was a little bit more than what he's currently valued at. He played well for us ish, not as good as I would have liked. So I think getting that value out of him was probably a pretty good deal. How much did we pay for him? He got him for free, so he literally was another one that we got profit off of. And the reason we went ahead and felt good about that is because we brought Stuart O'Connell back in. He was our 5th loan, finishing off our loanees for the season. And of course, we know Stuart O'Connell very, very well, valued at $130,000. We sold him for $200,000, so that's pretty good. And then being able to loan him back in the season after, not a bad move if I do so myself. So obviously we're very familiar with him. Bringing him back in is awesome. And then we have 2 free transfers here. We got John Kamani Gordon here. He comes in. He is a other striker option. I wanted a little bit of a backup option. He's only 21 years old. We're not paying him a ton right now, only 160 per week. Really just, maybe he'll turn into something. Maybe he won't. If he doesn't, not a big deal. He's not really costing us that much. I just kind of was like, you know what? He has a potential. He could be a backup in a couple spots. Let's bring him in and see what he can do. And then we got Dominick Hutchinson here. He comes in as a kind of all-around attacker. Can do all sorts of things. Current 2.5 star, potential 4 star. We're paying him quite a bit more. This is a little bit more of a risk, but I really felt like we need a little bit more depth in a couple of these places still. And so there you go. We brought him in. We had some room left on the finances. Not that we have to hit our wage budget, but we're still paying $10,000 less a month on our wage budget. Plus, we still have transfer budget. It's not impossible. Some more stuff can happen, but I'm just not seeing anything else right this second. I was really trying to get us another defensive winger because that's probably one of our weaknesses right now. If we go look at our team report and our squad depth, feeling pretty good, especially with O'Connell here. O'Connell and Strachan, I think, can actually hold up the striker role fairly well, and maybe some of these other guys will develop in a little bit. We'll see. Dolan here in the attacking midfielder with Byrne behind him. I think that's pretty good. McCabe still got a lot of potential ahead of him. I'd like to try and get him featured a little bit more. I think he has some good opportunities there. Jasper probably on the left-hand side with Nightingale on the right-hand side. We could also potentially swap those two. We got Hutchinson, like I said, as a backup. Castaneer still here as a backup. So we've got some options here as well. Midfielders, we got Sayati here, and Dolan, if he's not playing up there, he'll play back here, or Byrne will play back here. We also have this guy, Peter Kelly, that I paid a little bit too much for, but he might get a lot of play time, so which means he might actually develop pretty well. If we decide to play defensive midfielder, we do still have Sayati back there as well. Defensive central defender, Walcott, Sandman, our new loanee, Rice, we played last year. All 3 of those can play around, rotating around. Lupano can play there as well if necessary. Sandman or Lupano can play on the right-hand side. Sandman can play on the left-hand side. We also have Terry can play on either side. But you can see very glaringly, or at least, 3 stars in every role except for our wings here. 2.5 stars not too far off, to be fair, but the 2 stars over here on the left-hand side just not really probably going to cut it. I'm really hoping Terry can really develop in. He's only 19 years old, so he's got a lot of potential. I think he's currently injured, though. Yeah, he's got a twisted ankle for the next 3 to 5 weeks. So these first couple of weeks of games are going to be pretty interesting to see how we can pull that off. But yeah, I'm not unhappy with where we're at, but I do wish we had gotten a little bit more depth on these wings, and so we may still continue to look while the transfer window is open. But I just haven't been seeing anything so far. We had a couple guys that were some really good potentials, but just nothing jumping out at me right now. So anyway, that is what it is. As far as the league is concerned, we are currently slated to be 12th, which is top half. So that's exactly where we want to be, at 12th or higher. And so if we're 12th and we can just overachieve just a little bit, maybe we can hit top 10 like I want to. So that feels pretty good to be rated that high. Do we have any of the players on here? I don't think we do we? No. So that's unfortunate, but We might get there. Who's one of our best players? Sandman, actually one of our loanies. That makes sense. Nightingale, okay, couple key players there. But that is that. So here's how preseason went, if you care at all. But obviously, I wasn't really trying. I was just playing whatever I could play to give us some decent amount of money, but also some experience. So it is what it is. We were playing a lot of trial leagues and things like that. So don't read too much into that. But yeah, our first game up is against Chesterfield here, home game. It's coming up, like I said, here in about a week, actually 6 days exactly. And then we'll play Stevenage. And Chesterfield and Stevenage are slated to be... Chesterfield is slated to be 19th, and Stevenage is slated to be 17th. So in theory, those should be a couple good games for us that hopefully we can at least get. I'm hoping for 4 points, a win and a draw maybe. A couple wins would be amazing, but I'm hoping for at least 4 points. And for as far as tactics are concerned, this is probably our more aggressive tactic here. Obviously overloading the attacking side here with an attacking midfielder. Really going positive mentality, really doing the gegenpress because our team, our chairman and all those guys, the board wants us to do pressing. This is probably our little bit more, slightly more conservative, although it's hard to say that's more conservative because we're actually pushing a guy further up, but we're bringing the intensity down a little bit. We're playing a little bit more out to the wings as opposed to maybe up through the middle. So these are probably pretty interchangeable. I don't know. Honestly, the biggest difference here is just kind of we're going a little bit more balanced. And again, we're playing a little bit further out to the wings, a little bit further, a little bit wider and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens there. And then our a little bit more defensive mindset, if we decided to do this, would be to pull Sayati back into this defensive midfielder role and play a little bit more of a defensive kind of center here and kind of go from there. So those are some of the plans. We'll try it out. We'll see what happens. Obviously, one big key thing with all three of these is that we do have the attacking wingers on all of these, which I think is important because those are some of our better positions. And we'll see what happens there. I might change it if it doesn't seem like it's working out, but for now, that is going to be it. Pretty small team, as you can see. Really one of our smallest teams that we've gone into the season with so far. But I guess that gives us some room, like I said, to still try to pick up a few more guys along the way, and we'll see what happens with that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put a cut in there though. When we come back, we will see the first game of the new season, our 3rd season in Sky Bet League 2, our 6th season overall, and we will see if we can get this thing off to a really good start, and I really hope so. And I really would love Terry to come back. Please come back, Terry. We'll see what happens. But I do appreciate you guys watching. May God bless you, and I hope you join me again next time. Thank you, and goodbye.